So let's talk about the number one mistake that real estate investors make in terms of goal setting. And that is a lack of clarity. And by clarity, they don't have a definitive number or a certain amount of cash flow they want from their portfolio. Now, let's take a step back and imagine that you have your phone out and you're using Google Maps. And to get somewhere, you have to type in an address. Now, it could be a city or it could be a specific street address. But if you don't type in something or anything, Google can't tell you where to start going and what turn to take. It's the same thing with real estate investing. If you don't know where you want to go, the Property Llama software and our one-on-one portfolio analyses can't help you get to your destination. So in this video, we're talking about gaining clarity in terms of your goals. So there are two ways that I attack getting clarity on my goals. Step one is having a very vivid mental picture of what I want to achieve and what that can do for my lifestyle. That might be you being able to retire at a certain age, or helping your spouse retire early, or paying for your kids' college in 5 years, 10 years, or 15 years. Or it might be you being able to shift and leave your current job, which you may not love, and then pursuing your passion, whether it's charity work or starting a new career, or just being able to live life on your terms. I would recommend that you close your eyes for a second and visualize what you want to do, where do you want to go, and how can real estate help get you there? We all have that. I think one of my bullet points probably resonated with you. So paint that vivid picture. Step two is quantifying your goals. Now, a lot more people do step one of mentally visualizing their goals, but very few people do the second step of quantifying your goals. What do I mean by quantifying? I boil it down to a couple of key things. When do you want to buy, and how much cash flow per month is it? Now, when most people think about, oh, I got to retire my spouse, or I need to pay for college, or I retire myself one day, you can backtrack to figure out how much that's going to cost. What amount of money do you need coming every month to fund that goal, to pay for that goal? I'm a big keep it simple, stupid person. So my recommendation is that whatever goal you have, spend a minute and think about, if I were to achieve that goal today, what would that cost me? And figure out how much income you need today. Because here is a pro tip. Since real estate rents generally keep pace with inflation or slightly outpace inflation, that means whatever we think in today's dollars, it should be the equivalent in 10, 15, 20 years in future inflated dollars. Now, let me ask you a question here. I've talked to, well over 1,000 people now when it comes to setting goals for their portfolios and reviewing people's portfolios. What do you think the number one goal I hear is? Achieving $10,000 a month, somewhere between the next 5 to 15 years. Now, there's a good chance that you watching this video, that might be your goal, but that is how simple we need to quantify it. How much do you want, and when do you want to buy? Now that is giving us clarity in your goals. Now that is something I can plug into our Google Maps and help you figure out what moves you can make your portfolio to get you to your goals. Here's a lesson that took me about a decade to learn. And it's pretty simple now that I say this, but I realize other people have this issue as well. It's realizing and accepting that your goals will change. They will shift. Why? Because our lives change. They shift. Our lives are messy. The world is messy. Just everything changes. Well, when everything changes, your goals are going to change as well. So for example, 10 years ago, I first started out my goals for real estate investing. And my goal is to make $10,000 a month cash flow. Now, back then, to give you context, I was 30, I was single, and I had a lot more time and a lot less money. Now, fast forward 10 years later, I just turned 40 recently. I have a wife, I have 2 kids, I have a 3rd baby on the way, and I have more money, but less time. So all of my goals have shifted now that I am responsible and have to help take care of my family and achieve not only my goals, but my wife's goals and my kids' goals. And from a very simplistic standpoint, to quantify it, it went from $10,000 a month to, oh wow, I need a lot more money to achieve my goals and what I want to do with my family, to now it's $20,000 a month. So understand that as you go through your real estate investing career and life changes, it's okay, accept it. And this is why I'm a big believer in quantifying your goals and then putting into Property Llama and then doing your annual portfolio analysis session, because we have to recalibrate your goals and know where you want to go. Now that you have clarity on your goals, we need to determine what phase of investing are you in. And it really comes down to, are you in the accumulation phase or the income phase? An accumulation phase is the growth phase. I need to go out there and acquire more properties, more future cash flow. Or you're in the income phase where you need the cash flow today to help pay for your goals. So I'm gonna go back and actually reference what a lot of financial planners do with their clients in terms of balancing their equities and their bond portfolio. Now, when you're younger, it's typically recommended that you have a very high stock allocation and a very low bond allocation. Why? Because stocks are typically growth or accumulation and wealth building, and bonds are typically income. Now, as you get older, what happens? Your stock allocation starts going down and your bond allocation goes up. And this is why as people get to retirement, they're often in almost all bonds or fixed income assets because they want a certain amount of income every single month. So that's the same thing we look at in terms of real estate. Are you in the growth phase or income phase? My personal goal is $20,000 a month or $240,000 a year. So this is another reason you need to go out there and create your Property Llama account so you can put your goals in there and track how close you are to your goal. So I got my $240,000 goal right here into Property Llama, and we can see that I have about $124,000 coming in. So I am not at my goal yet. That means I didn't go out there and accumulate more rents. I need to accumulate more cash flow to achieve my goals. Now, a common question I get is, where are you getting that $124,000 from, Chris? Well, this is called NOI, or net operating income. And that's just a term to use for when your properties are paid off with no mortgage, no debt on there. It still accounts for all the costs of operating the property, but it's a free and clear paid off property. It's essentially like having your bonds be the majority part of your portfolio. So I'm getting income, not growth. Well, since I want $240,000 a year in cash flow, I need more NOI to achieve my goal. Now, don't get stuck in the details on there. We'll dive into a lot more details in the upcoming videos, but that NOI, that future retirement cash flow, is a key concept I want to get your brain wired into. So let's talk about the other phase of real estate investing, and that's the income phase. Now, you can see from my portfolio, I am not there yet. I still have quite a few years left and some hard work to do. Fine, that's the game. I want to do it. But actually, I was talking to a gentleman this morning doing a portfolio analysis using Property Llama, and I put this guy as just someone who's winning at life. He has a bunch of rental properties. Some are paid off, some are not. But as we got into what his goals were, we got the number he wanted, and he painted a picture of where his life is at. He is just retiring from his long-term, corporate W-2 job. He has 10 grandkids, and he's in great health. And his portfolio is at the state where he can live off of it once he pays off a couple properties. And this gentleman is just winning. Like, he's achieved his financial goals, he's achieved his family goals, and he's in great health. I'm like, wow, you have won. Now let's optimize your portfolio to make sure we can make a few small chess moves here to support your lifestyle of what you want to do with visiting your grandkids, helping them go out there and do all the sports and activities and pay for their college one day. And that's the other side of the coin. And once we actually sat down and he realized that he could pay off a couple properties and then sell one of his headache properties and achieve his goals, he was ecstatic. So hopefully that paints you the picture of where you can be and I can be one day when it comes to terms of getting that income phase. Now, setting your goals for real estate, you don't need to spend days and weeks and months doing it. Just spend a few minutes, visualize it, and come up with a gut number for what you need to do. Because we need this so we can go into step 2 of our 5-step portfolio analysis framework. And the next video, we will go into step 2, which is the global overview. And this is where we start looking at your portfolio as a whole to see how it's on track to achieving your goals. So make sure you go to Property Llama, create your account, put your goals in there, and start updating your information. And I'll see you in the next video to jump into the global overview.